The reason I refuse to take peptides is because I'm not doing fitness for fitness's sake. I'm not doing fitness to be the most ripped man in the room. I'm not doing fitness because I think my wife is not going to love me, or because I think she won't think I'm sexy enough or something like that if I don't lose an extra a few percentages of body fat. I'm doing fitness because it deepens my relationship with Christ. Deepens my relationship with Christ. Paul uses physical discipline as one of the chief examples with how to operate in our spiritual lives in two main cases in the New Testament. One is when he says that just like athletes who train in a disciplined way and run a race in order to win a prize, we also should run our races in order to win a prize. He uses physical discipline as one of the primary examples of how to lead our spiritual lives. And Paul also says in 1 Corinthians that with whatever we eat or whatever we drink, we should do it all for the glory of God. And I don't think he's just talking about dietary decisions there. I think he's using the dietary example because eating and drinking is something we do every single day, multiple times a day for the rest of our life. So he's saying with whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. What does that mean? That means live your entire life, your entire existence for the glory of God. And for me, when I'm making eating decisions, whether that is just basic eating decisions, my physical stewardship, I am doing that to the glory of God. It is an opportunity to practice that spiritual discipline. It is an opportunity to have that constant touch point with the Holy Spirit with, Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to eat? And not because I don't know what to eat, but because honestly, when it comes to eating, there's times where as Christians, we want to go to food for comfort instead of going to the Holy Spirit for comfort. So by disciplining my body in those moments, I get to practice going to the Holy Spirit for comfort, which is something that most Christians never know. It's incredible when you finally figure that out. It's amazing. It gets you through so many different challenges. And even if it's not a moment of temptation like that, when I'm reminded to eat something healthy that energizes me, that supports my body, that keeps me strong, I'm being reminded in that moment of the weight of the mission that God has placed in my life that's worth being healthy for. That's why this is so deep. That's why this matters so much. When I'm enduring a hard set at the gym or when I'm pushing through physical discipline and jiu-jitsu training, I hear the voice of the Holy Spirit saying, Gabe, take part in my attitude, like it says in 1 Peter 4:1, take part in the attitude of Christ who suffered in the body, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin. Fitness deepens my relationship with Christ, and that's the only reason it's even worth doing. And you need to get that as a Christian man. If it doesn't deepen your relationship with Christ, you'll cast it to the side. You'll count it all as loss. And we wonder why we have no sustainability, no success in any area of Christian life, why we live mediocre Christian lives, why the marriages suck, and the finances suck, and the fitness sucks too. Because we think it's separate from our spiritual walk and not a part of our spiritual walk. It's crazy. That's why I don't take peptides. Because what people don't understand about weight loss peptides specifically. Okay, I'm not talking about the skin stuff. I'm not talking about the recovery stuff. I'm not even talking about TRT. I'm talking mostly about the weight loss stuff. What people don't understand is that the impact that those have on your brain, it signals your satiety thousands of times higher than your natural production would ever be, regardless of your genetics, regardless of your metabolism, regardless of your genetic signaling for fullness. If you're taking something like tirzepatide, Ozempic, Mounjaro, retatrutide, these are the popular ones at the time of this recording in 2026, you're getting like thousands of times the satiety signaling that you would normally. And if I'm taking a drug that numbs my appetite, I'm foregoing the opportunity to bring the Holy Spirit into those eating decisions. I'm foregoing the opportunity for the stewardship of my body to train my discipline, which transfers everywhere else. That's the entire point of doing fitness as a Christian in the first place, because you get no extra points in Christian life for being more ripped. I promise you that. Okay, you get no extra points for having a six-pack, but the process of working towards a six-pack, you absolutely get to train your flesh to submit to your spirit 100%. When other people see that you have a six-pack, it does testify to the power of the Holy Spirit that dwells within you, that gives you that power of self-control. 100%. And you're foregoing that if you're taking a drug that allows you to get the six-pack without having to go through the discipline. It's the same thing with finances. Like, is money good or is money bad in the Christian world? Again, most Christians are not going to agree with this either, but if you build an incredible business as a Christian man, you get to tell the testimony of God's goodness. You get to glorify him through that. But that doesn't mean that everybody who builds a successful business is glorifying God. No, not at all. There's evil people who build successful businesses. It's the same thing with fitness. I'm not saying at all that somehow being fit makes you more godly. No. But I am saying for the Christian, the process of becoming fit and stewarding that well can train your godliness, can glorify God. Are there fit people who are super ripped, who get ripped by taking the Retta or taking the tirzepatide or whatever it is, and they get the outcome and it's great, yeah, tangibly on paper. But you completely missed the point. You completely missed the point. The point is not what you get, it's who you become in the process. It's how you glorify God through the process, is what your process testifies about how good God is and how powerful God is. You completely forego that if you take a drug to get there, just saying. So, that's why I don't take weight loss peptides. I hope that blesses you. And by the way, for anybody on the weight loss peptides, you're thinking, gosh, Gabe, like you're so religious, you're so strict about this. Again, first off, if it's not deepening my relationship with Christ, it's not worth doing. Loving my wife, that absolutely deepens my relationship with Christ like nothing I've ever experienced before. Stewarding my body well deepens my relationship with Christ. Loving my daughter deepens my relationship with Christ. Building my business deepens my relationship with Christ. Seeking to honor my parents deepens my relationship with Christ. If it doesn't deepen my relationship with Christ, it's not worth doing. For all the guys who are thinking, it's like, what's the big deal, Gabe? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. That's fine. You can think that. Honestly, again, I don't care what you do personally. But for me, it's not worth doing if it doesn't deepen my relationship with Christ. Again, by the way, if you feel like, I just can't get to 15% body fat without the drug. I just can't get to 10% body fat without the drug, or under 10% body fat without the drug. Like, it's just too hard. Like, dude, really? You say you're indwelt with the Holy Spirit, and you can't make it through 2 seconds of hunger. Oh, wow, what a powerful Holy Spirit you're indwelled with. Like, I'm sorry, but what? What are we doing? What do we do? Like, this is stupid. I love you to death, but this is stupid. Getting to 15% body fat, I'm sorry to tell you. It's great. There's a lot of personal work you have to do. There's a lot that needs to be overcome, a lot of healing that has to be done in your heart. If you struggle with it, I've been there too, okay? Losing weight, gaining it back, stress eating, emotional eating, all the things. But it's not that hard. If you think that this is so difficult, a little bit of fat, that you can't do without a drug, buddy, I've got stories for you for other things you're going to face in life. Because this is not the most difficult thing that you can do in life. I love you to death. If you're considering these drugs, you're on these drugs, whatever it may be. But it's not necessary, and it robs you of the main benefits of going through the process of getting fit in the first place. Hope this blesses you. See you on the next one.